Welcome back and welcome if you're new. So today we're going to plan for the week beginning the 9th to the 15th of September. And as you can see, I'm going to be going autumnal and using the pumpkin spice collection from Hubman and Shopgirl. So let's take a quick look. So first we have the kit itself, and there are 9 full boxes, gorgeous colours like a burnt orange, green and brown. That's the first sheet. And then the second sheet, all the labels. And then the third sheet with the days of the week and little pumpkin head doodles, and that's a gorgeous colour, that faux washi. And then I also have the washi set that goes with it, this glitter 15mm one and a 10mm one with the metallics and all the little pumpkins. And then I have 5 vinyls, so a pumpkin with a scarf, a pumpkin on its own, a slice of pumpkin pie with whipped cream on the top, a little cup of coffee, and then a open cup of coffee to go with cream and cinnamon sticks. And then I have an additional decor sheet that's all the pumpkin spice. It has all the different pumpkin spice drinks as well as pumpkin jam. And I actually looked it up since I got these. You can actually make pumpkin jam. I didn't think you could. Random fact. But it also could be pumpkin puree for making pumpkin pie. Anyway, that's the decor. And then I'll be using my brown grey Zebra Sarasa. It's a vintage colour. I thought that would be really gorgeous for the theme. And the Sig Cling colour dot marker, and it is in 602 Oatmeal. I'm really looking forward to using these. I love this wee theme. So let's get our planner back over. This is an Erin Condren 8x10 planner, by the way, in Orly, and it's getting very chunky and heavy.
Somewhere along the way, somehow we ended up at a crossroad and we got lost. Somewhere you chose to go left while I turned the other way, and you got lost. Want you to know for all I know, even if the road ahead is long and winding, even if the road behind us left you crying, even if the tears come streaming down your face, it's gonna be okay.
Sidebar. And I think I'll start with one of the little coffee vinyls rather than a pumpkin, because there's pumpkins up here. I think I'll do the one with the cream. It's funny, I was actually talking to one of my wee subscribers the other day and saying that I actually don't even like pumpkin spice lattes. I like pumpkin pie. Well, I've never eaten a professional pumpkin pie because it's never been sold over here. We can't get it, but I did try making one last year and I really loved it. And I love a recipe for pumpkin spice cake that you can have as cake or cupcakes, and I love that, but I just didn't love the pumpkin spice latte at all. It wasn't for me, but I do love caramel lattes. They're my favourite. Couldn't live without them. Let's do a green faux glitter washi. Whenever I was younger, I never used to actually get why people drank tea and coffee. I still don't get tea, to be honest. Don't fall out with me if you like it. I mean, my sister's obsessed with it and so is my mum, but to me it's just like brown water. I need a stronger flavour than that. But it used to really baffle me whenever like I would go to my friend's house and they would ask, does anybody want a cup of tea or coffee? And I'd be like, I'll have a Diet Coke, please. You know, I always only wanted a cool drink until I got into my 20s. And then I started working in an office. And in the office, they actually had a Starbucks downstairs. And I tried a caramel latte. And then from then I ended up addicted. And I don't actually like Starbucks coffee anymore. I feel like the flavour has changed. It's not the same. I always go to Cafe Nero. But yeah, it was caramel lattes that got me hooked on coffee. And I'm thoroughly addicted. Anyway, I'm going to put this little one that says pumpkin spice underneath it because that's just setting the theme. And then I'll put a doodle banner that has the pumpkins on it underneath. I love autumn in my planner. I love all the autumnal themes and even the wee, like I do spooky cute. I don't do like actual scary. But I love it. It's my favourite time in my planner. I've said this quite a few times now. My favourite season is summer, but my favourite time in my planner is absolutely this time of year. Actually, now right the way through to Christmas. I love all the different themes. Anyway, right, so work. We need a work header. And then, oh Ruth, what are you doing? It's been a long week. Work goes up here. Didn't get a great sleep last night either. I get like, I wouldn't go as far as to call them night terrors because they're not frequent enough in order to warrant that, I don't think. But every so often I'll have a dream where I kind of make a weird moan in my sleep because it's not a great dream. I'm not going to demonstrate it but it's like in the dream you're yelling or something, but it doesn't come out coherent, let's just say. And me and my younger sister used to get them, and we had up the stairs, our rooms were up the stairs, hers was at the front of the house and mine was at the back, but my bed was here. Let's say this is my room, so my bed was here and her bed was here and the wall was in the middle. So if we heard each other, we would just bang on the wall to wake the other person out of it, and then when they woke up we'd say, are you okay? And then we'd be like, yeah, I'm fine. So we were used to it. But since I got married, it's actually never happened to me. I haven't had one. And I've been married now for 12 years. But, oh no, hold on, have I been married 12 years? Yes. I'm really doubting myself. It wasn't like my anniversary was that long ago, it was in June. Hold on. 12 years, yes. And now I forgot the point. Yes, 12 years of marriage, and in that entire time, he has never experienced it. But anyway, last night I had a dream where, what am I even doing? Sorry, let me concentrate a second and then, yes, work, right. So, like one of those films where the day repeats. Well, this wasn't necessarily like the day was repeating. It was like I knew I was dreaming, and we were back in an old apartment. And I woke up in that old apartment and I was like, wait a minute, we don't live here. And Stephen was saying, yes, we do. We had to sell our house because we've no money. You know, basically to cut a long story short, it was like we were going through financial troubles. Oh, summer. And I'm back and I'm really out of breath. Anyway, oh dear. Where did I put that sticker? So yeah, it was like I had amnesia. And had forgotten that we'd lost our home and went back into an apartment we used to live in, and everything had gone wrong, and the apartment we used to live in was now falling apart, but we'd no choice but to live there, etc. But in the dream, I knew deep down that I was dreaming. I was like, this is not real. So I kept trying to wake myself up within the dream. So I would be yelling, wake up, Ruth. I don't believe you, this is a dream. But everybody around me was behaving like I'd lost my mind and that this was reality. And do you not remember we had too much debt? And do you not remember this? And what are you talking about, Ruth? And sort of trying to make me believe that it was real. And it was so bizarre. But then I would randomly decide, really convince myself it wasn't real. And then it would like snap in a sense and I would wake up again, but I would wake up in the bed in my old apartment and it would start again and I would be like, I'm still here, what is going on? But it wasn't like the day was repeating that the same thing was happening over and over again. There was different people there each day and different things were happening, but the consistent was that I knew I was dreaming and wanted to wake up. Anyway, the very last one, then I could hear people coming up the stairs because the door was broken and it was it was unprotected. The apartment was falling apart. And I heard I'm not going to say the word in case YouTube's like, what is she talking about? But I heard someone click and come up the stairs and I was like, no, no, no. And I was just kept shouting no, that I refuse to believe that this is real and that we're about to be. And I was shouting no and no and no. And then Stephen actually woke me up and said, you were shouting, love, are you okay? Because I had kept waking up and I wasn't really awake, it was just so confusing. But I looked around me and I saw that we were in our actual bedroom and that I slowly came to the reality that this is real. I am actually awake now and it was just so bizarre and scary. So it wasn't scary in the sense that I was being chased through the streets and blah, blah, blah. And things that really go into my mind and stay there. That's why I don't really watch. I'm really careful what I watch because they do stick in my head, stuff like that. I'll do a really dark orange under here. But it felt so real at the time, but it's bizarre that I knew I was dreaming and didn't want to dream this or accept the reality. Like I was stuck in a matrix or something and everybody was gaslighting me. It was so bizarre. But anyway, it was Stephen's first experience of me having, yelling in my sleep and stuff. And I said, that I was talking to him on my lunch. He picked me up to go get my nails done because that's another disaster. Our car broke down, but I'll tell you that story in a minute. We'll get a bit more planning done. So he picked me up. Thankfully, he's able to drive his... Oh no, I don't need work. I need... What am I doing? Nobody knows. Yes, I have everything down. I just need a little something down there. I might do the little pumpkin with the scarf on. That's a perfect fit. Yeah, so I was talking to him at lunch when I went to get my nails done. And he was saying, I thought, I'm sorry, for waking you up and did I freak you out? And he said, no, it was fine. He said I was a bit like, what is she doing? And then he realised that I was actually still asleep, but yelling. So he woke me up. And he said I just went, oh, I'm sorry, and went straight back to sleep. But it doesn't feel like I did that. It feels like, I don't know, it's all just so surreal. But thankfully it was a dream. Anyway, right. I'm going to get all my food boxes down now. And then we'll get started with planning and I'll tell you my little story about our very temperamental car.
Take a walk and I join you. Just leave a trace and I follow. Make a wish and I make it come true. For all I know,
completely forgot to put which week it was over here. Thankfully the sticker came up okay and I just moved it over there. That's what I get for talking too much. Anyway, right, plans. So Tesco delivery at 10. Yeah, so on a Saturday I usually go round and visit my mum and dad and I take our car. But our car is a second-hand car. We actually purchased it whenever we moved house and we've had nothing but grief with the thing since we started. It's a Ford Kuga. Yeah, so I was driving on the way and every time, it's automatic, and every time the gear went to change, I'd be holding the wheel in the car. It felt like it was jumping forward. And it was freaking me out. I was like, what is going on with this car? So I got my dad when I arrived there to drive it round the block. And he said it seemed fine. So I thought, I don't know, maybe it's just me. But then whenever I was driving home, it really started to play up. And it started to like rev and, you know, like the noise that the engine makes when it's like revving. Clearly I'm not a car expert, but anyway, all of a sudden then it just gave up. But I was going, please, please, please let me at least make it. I was on a dual carriageway and there was a slip road to get into the area where we live. And I was just praying, please, please, please. I was so close to even getting into the slip road to get out of the way of the dual carriageway. It was 2 lanes of cars this way, a slip road, 2 lanes of cars this way, and then where I was trying to go. And it stopped dead. And I was so mortified. And I have very, you know, I have anxiety and low self-esteem. And the last thing I want to do is be standing open in the middle of a dual carriageway with everybody looking at me as they drive by. It was awful. And I had no chance of pushing it at all. And thankfully this guy stopped to come over and help, and because I was so close to home, my husband was only 2 minutes away and he drove his mum and dad's car round and they both pushed it into the wee side slip road, and then Stephen was able to get it started and he drove it into at least the housing part where we don't live there, but it's near where his mum and dad lives. But yeah, so that was a bit of a disaster and it's still not working. So I wouldn't care. The only time I actually drive is to go to my nail appointment, which I now do on a Friday, and go just visit my mum and dad. I'm very much a home bird and that's part of my anxiety that I'm trying to deal with. But anyway, it wouldn't bug me not having a car if it wasn't for that. But then when it comes to that, you just don't realise how much a car gives you your independence and how lost you are without it. And there isn't a direct bus to get, because the girl I get my nails done from is in Newtownards, because I've been going to her since I lived in Newtownards. And in the car it's 10-15 minutes, but standing waiting on a bus, the bus takes an hour before it even arrives. And I go over my lunch hour and I'm always there and back, no problem. But I wouldn't be if I took the bus. I'm just grateful that we were able to borrow my mother and father-in-law's car, you know, to get me there. What am I doing? Yeah, so that's Tesco's. And then I need leave out bins, brown willy food, because that's the bins it is this week. So let's do I wish there was a brown rather than 2 oranges, because I feel like if I use all these, there'll be a lot of orange. Hey ho, I can add browns I suppose with the decor. Let's do this colour of orange then, a light up at the top for the bins. And this little shopping basket is from Hubman and Shop Girl, and so is this little recycle bin and this trash day bag. I'll do the 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. And then I have my niece's birthday on the 12th. So I think I'll do the darker orange up there. And then I have a little green cupcake sticker from the birthday range at Hubman and Shop Girl. speaking of Hubman and Chub Girl, they recently announced that they're going to do a trial subscription for the Hobonichi. So if you watch my videos, the way that I would get a planner subscription, I'm assuming that you would get all the same things that you get in it, but instead of getting the standard kit, you get the Hobonichi kit, I think. I don't know because I haven't done it yet. And you also, at the minute, if you subscribe to the Little Red Riding Hood theme, which is October's theme that is out now, you get a pumpkin spice for free. It's for new subscribers, so if you get subscribed to the sticker subscription and you use the code sticker, you get your first subscription for $5. But not only then would you get the Little Red Riding Hood one, you'll also get the pumpkin spice one of it for free, which is good. Just letting you know that in case you weren't aware. I'm really looking forward to the November one. I've been looking forward to it since I saw the sneak peek of it. So it's not renewing until the 24th or 25th. Right, the last thing I need to put in then is my nail appointment, which she's actually taking the day off on Friday. And she just reminded me today, otherwise I would have totally forgot to put it in my planner. So let's do the lighter orange. In fact, I'll use one of these smaller ones. And it is at 12:30, but on the Thursday instead. And I have a little money sticker with the Chub Girl doodle. Okay, let's write everything in and organise all my leftovers into here.
I've been running round in circles, chasing my tail and lost my way, seeking shelter in different corners, never finding a place to stay. Somehow ended up here on the ground. Brother, help me up, I've fallen down. I know that I'll hurt the ones that I hold dear, the ones I love. Thought that I would find the answers, drinking till my feet felt numb, just like Father did when I was young.
Now, that's me already. I have this food box in the back because it's not actually autumn yet until the 22nd, so I didn't really want to include that this week, but I've kept it in here and I can use it later on in the year when it is autumn. And then I kept these on this because I have plenty here, and this is actually the current theme in my journal, so I can use it in my journal instead. And if I decide I need more and I've already used them in my journal, I can just pull from the planner subscription or something. Same with these, I'll either use them here, my journal, or put them away for when I use this theme with the standard kit. So, I hope you enjoyed hanging out today, I know I did. Welcome to all the lovely new subscribers that have just joined. I've had a little increase recently. And of course, thank you so much for everyone who has been here. I really do appreciate you. But until next time, take care and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.